So it turns out that Katt Williams and Dave Chappelle have been trying to warn us about Kevin Hart's shady associations with Diddy for the longest time. And they were right to sound the alarm, because the things we're finding out about Kevin and Diddy are shocking, to say the least. Dave Chappelle was one of the first people to hint that Kevin might have sold his soul to the industry in exchange for money and fame. And he has some receipts to back up what he was saying. Katt Williams, on the other hand, has been trying to tell us all about Kevin's alleged relationship with Diddy. And it looks like this crazy situation has been going on right under our noses for the longest time. But these two men are ready to spill the tea. And let me tell you, the tea is hot. If there is one thing Dave Chappelle is always going to do, it's speak out against the industry for putting black men in shady situations to humiliate them, which explains why he seems to believe that Kevin Hart might have sold out. Now, I'm not saying that Kevin didn't work for his success or anything like that, but it seems like there was more to his success story than we knew, because he just seemed to, out of nowhere, become one of the biggest comedians in the industry. Interestingly, we can pinpoint the exact moment when Kevin started to blow up, and it was when he agreed to wear a dress on SNL.
The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee, Kevin Wallace.
Wow. Wow. I don't think anyone saw this one coming.
Interestingly, before that performance, Kevin was one of those celebrities who vowed that he was never going to wear a dress, no matter what, because it was humiliating to him as a black man.
Dave Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts, and is that something that, you wouldn't do, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. For me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on a talk show this morning.
You look
said
good
no to
doing
that. Not that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. At the end of the day, you got to know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
Now, if y'all know Dave Chappelle, then you already know how he feels about black men being forced to wear dresses and act feminine. He believes that it's all just another way for the higher-ups in the industry to control black men.
I can't call it Chappelle Show because my name and likeness is being used by them in perpetuity throughout the universe. It's in the contract.
And if we're being honest, it's kind of hard not to believe him, because there does seem to be a lot more black men being forced into wearing dresses than white actors. And it kind of makes us wonder what's really going on. And if there is one person who knows firsthand how it feels for the industry to try to pressure you into wearing dresses, it's Dave Chappelle. In 2005, Dave Chappelle shocked the world when he turned down a $50 million contract from Comedy Central. Not only did he turn down the contract, but he also ran away from the country to live in South Africa for a few years. The crazy part about this is that while he was gone, the media started to slander him, posting all kinds of crazy stuff about him. But y'all know that Dave is not the type to sit back and watch people say stuff about him. So the moment he got back into the country, he went on Oprah's show to try and clear things up and set the record straight. He spoke about his contract with Comedy Central, and for the first time, he revealed that the reason he walked away was because the contract was seriously messed up and had some pretty shady conditions.
I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
Well, I wasn't walking away from the money.
Yeah.
I was walking away from the circumstances that were coming with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It takes a while when you punch through to adjust to the atmosphere.
Dave then revealed that the reason he turned down the contract was that he knew what entertainers and artists are forced to do before they get to that next level where they hit it really big, and he was not desperate enough to do those things.
I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving the street screaming, they're trying to.
Yeah. Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
When Oprah asked him what exactly the contract had in store for him, Dave revealed that Comedy Central allegedly wanted him to create sketches that he believed were socially irresponsible. He believed that they were setting him up to be clowned, and that the goal was to have people laughing at him and not with him, which is what comedy is about.
Sounds like somebody's trying to put young Dave in a compromising position. Oprah.
Oh, and remember what I said about black men being forced to wear dresses as a humiliation ritual? Well, Dave also claimed that the same thing almost happened to him when he was filming a movie with Martin Lawrence.
Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer, I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here.
The wild thing about it is that Dave also claimed that the scenes where they forced black men to wear dresses were super unnecessary and did nothing to further the plot. They had black men play the stereotypical and damaging role of an angry black woman, even though it wasn't necessary to the plot, and the movie would have been perfectly fine without that role. Anywho, Dave refused to film the role, and instead of respecting his boundaries, the producers decided to put him under immense pressure to wear the dress, talking about how a lot of big actors in Hollywood had worn dresses, how it wasn't a big deal, and how he needed to do it and get it over with.
They come in, the writer comes in, I think he's the writer, he's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail, so he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on, and what? Nah, I'm not doing that, I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? It's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave, listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in.
Y'all know what the wild part about this is? It's that the producers already had a second version of the script ready to go just in case Dave refused to wear the dress. Again, proving his point that the dress scenes were completely unnecessary. It also didn't make sense why they were pressuring Dave to wear dresses if they already had another version of the script already written and ready to go.
Producers come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress, I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine, think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene, hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast?
So if there is someone who feels very strongly about black men being forced into wearing dresses, it's Dave. And it goes without saying that he did not approve of Kevin Hart wearing that dress on SNL. Like I said, Kevin's career blew up after this. And before we knew what was going on, he became one of the biggest comedians in Hollywood. Y'all want to know who else had something to say about this? Katt Williams. That's who. Like Dave Chappelle, Katt has been very vocal about what happens to black men in the industry. When Katt was asked about Kevin Hart wearing a dress on SNL, he pointed out that this has been happening in Hollywood for a long time, saying that Kevin wasn't the first black entertainer to wear a dress before making it big.
Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Katt also added that people like him and Dave Chappelle can never reach Kevin's level of fame simply because they refuse to be part of the secret society that runs Hollywood.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. End quote.
Katt then revealed that his career had suffered a great deal because he kept talking about the shady parts of the industry.
Well, as you can see, I've let it all go for quite some time, and a lot of that is just based upon the fact that I don't really know how to complain because all of the people that I ever looked up to had to go through it too. So I know how much they talked about Martin Luther King, and I know what they end up doing to him. I know this same story about Jesus and a few of my uncles. So now I know that if your mouth is really, really big and you try to tell the truth for a living and you like to air people out, hatred is coming your way.
Well, for some reason, this made Kevin mad at Katt, and he went off on Katt, claiming that Katt had addiction issues and that was the reason his career never took off.
Good or bad? My frustration with Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Katt was in that position at one point.
You were the guy. Yeah. You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You promo shoots. You your promo trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped.
Why was he a risk?
He chose.
Oh, okay.
Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what? I gotta fix me, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna stand up for comedy.
Now, everyone knows that Katt Williams can be petty AF. So when he went on Club Shay Shay, he dragged Kevin for filth, calling him an industry plant who was only famous because he sold out to the industry.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It did happen.
This was interesting because there had been rumors of Kevin Hart being involved with Diddy in more ways than one, if you know what I mean. And this time, it was not just a conspiracy theory, because there are videos showing Kevin at Diddy's parties going as far back as the early 2000s. And unlike other celebs who claim to have been innocent partygoers, Kevin can't say the same because there is footage of him hosting the parties.
You know, we got a lot of stars in the building right now. First and foremost, myself. Let's acknowledge that real quick before we get to questions. Shout out to my still using the eraser on his Timbs. Hey, Puff, look, real quick. I want to ask some people.
Hey, yo, for real, if you hit me that hard again.
Listen, okay?
There's also footage from the party of women in the bathtub, and it looked like they were being forced to do things that they weren't comfortable doing.
That's basically. Can we get a shot of Terrence's pants? Watch out. Get a shot of this. Look at his pants. Let's get a shot of his pants. I've never seen anything like that. It's a very small waistline.
That was shady enough to say the least. And now the streets are saying that Kevin allegedly knew what Diddy was up to the entire time. It also didn't help when Tasha K read him for filth.
He's having a come to Jesus moment. He's about to turn Muslim here too, okay? Done closed up all his doggone. I said, man, that's a good concept. Vegan burgers and stuff, you know? See, you trying to do the right thing, trying to feed people plant-based and stuff like that, and God said, close them all up, shut them down. He said, shut them down. And so you did just that. I heard he had some shows in Mississippi that didn't sell, and he had to cancel them too. He going through some hard times. There's a lot of people ever since COVID. It's been hard for all of us. All of us. But particularly him, because he's not a good person. He was all up in the Diddy parties too. When you see him get real quiet on social media, there's a few of them that's been real quiet. Normally they the loudest in the room. They trying to think of what their answer and excuse is gonna be when this whole domino effect hits their brand. And all these studios need to hear is that he was at a Diddy party, in them contracts, the moral clauses that he's trying to, maneuver, because that's the reason why he ended up suing his blaming his best friend JT for extorting him. Even me. He's a family actor that does family movies, that only makes family movies, but we got a whole starring Kevin Hart. And somebody other than his wife is the first line that my lawyers put in the damn lawsuit that got shut down. Don't play with me. Don't play with me, okay? This is not 2018. Okay? We're not playing that. You talking about you a family actor, starred in Jumanji, you do family movies, you do stupid. You do midgets. And if you do like watching midgets screw, watch you hear it's on the internet. Play with me. Now, Katt Williams already told you about this troll. Now he wanna come out instead of being a man, y'all the same height. Stand on your, why you running? Why you out here apologizing? Why you out here getting amnesia? You know why Katt don't mess with you? Katt already told you all lies will be exposed. The same way you lied on your best friend, the same way you lied on me using headlines. And then Katt Williams came to my defense. And so did your best friend to expose you. Can't stand this. Woo, I can't stand this man. Can't wait till his wife sit down and tell his business. It's gonna happen. Matter of fact, the court records is probably gonna tell him when them Diddy tapes slide out. Like he was sliding around the room probably with that baby on, couldn't get up. Probably like, cause you know he's short, like, oh my God, dude, why did you use all this baby on? Come on, you know I got to go home. I can't be smelling like no kid. Dang. Nah, Nico probably like, you did come in here smelling like Jergens, Johnson & Johnson. Too much. I'm sorry, I hate when folks mess. Ooh. Ooh, I can't wait till they start naming who in them damn videos. Oh my God. Oh my God. I know where everything in me, his name on them. I know his face is up in there because his head bigger than his body. You gonna be, that's him right there, yeah.
Fans commented, Kevin Hart is synonymous with social climber. He is ready to do everything to be as famous as possible. So far, Katt hasn't lied. Everything he has said has turned out to be true. This Katt gonna be the one to bring all the receipts. He's been put through hell. He's ready for some retribution. We better not hear he's been off or all of a sudden unalived himself. And y'all notice how quiet Kevin Hart is right now amid the Diddy troubles? He's usually the first to make a joke, LMAO. Now I wanna hear your thoughts about Kevin being exposed like this. Drop your thoughts on this in the comments. Then check out this next video.